Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at an insane run in the Open Ultra League. We're going to have a team here with the Golisopod, which just got buffed with the move Liquidation, as well as we're going to have also the Walrein in this team here, which is also going to be buffed this season. So a double buff team that went 21-0 in the Open Ultra League. We got some battles here from Aerosol, a very known battler for the EU community at least. He's been to a lot of tournaments already as well. Very strong battler here, and we're going to have a very nice team as well with the Golisopod against the Obstagoon here, which kind of goes for their move. I think the opponent here, but here at least they can go ahead and go for the Exorcist. The opponent does not do anything here. No, I actually go for Night Stash, not going to do enough damage there. And we see that they are going to have now in the back the Cresselia. That's going to be totally okay for you as they can now realign. Definitely very cool to see a team like this, which is kind of accessible as well. I feel like getting such an insane run. The only XL Pokemon for this team is going to be the Galarian Stunfisk, which recently had a research day, so most people are going to have access to this Pokemon. And the Walrein should be pretty fine. 2 legacy moves though, but definitely worth using those elite terms to get this Pokemon if you haven't got this already. And also the Golisopod is a pretty accessible Pokemon, which is going to be able to hard all the opponent's Hand Slash. It's going to be able to resist all the charge moves here, which is going to be very beneficial for you, as you should be able to win this matchup in most scenarios, as you can now even farm them all the way down as the opponent goes into a Staraptor. This actually can be a little bit of a tricky matchup. I don't know why it didn't go ahead and go into your Walrein here, because Walrein would have been able to do more damage with a fast move already. But a very great move here to go for the charge move CMP tie there, which is really nice. So you're now going to be able to knock out the opponent, even get to 1 Earthquake here. This is so nice for you, as you're going to be able to get the shield from the opponent right now. They can farm you down, but you can go back into the Golisopod, try to go for the Liquidation. It's actually worth using the shield here. I would actually agree with that one as well. As you're going to see Liquidation coming through right now, that's going to do some pretty decent damage. Let's see, they're going to shield this move up. The defense drops comes through, and the opponent going to forfeit this game. If you enjoyed those very strong teams here for the Go Battle League, definitely leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. Today is my birthday, so that would be a very nice birthday present as well. The only day in the year where I can ask something like this. But here we're going to see another great matchup for the Golisopod. We're going to see the matchup against the Walrein, which is going to now be able to basically completely hardball the opponent. Here you can see both Earthquake as well as their fast as well as their other charge move with Icicle Spear going to be resisted by Golisopod. Still does more damage than I expected, but you're always going to be able to win this matchup, as the Exeter is going to do enough damage to knock them out here with one more fast move. In comes the Swampert again, a Pokemon that the Golisopod is going to be able to completely hardwall. But sadly, you're already in the range where, are they going to let this move go through? That's kind of wild. Where you can at least get farmed down here, which is going to be the best play for the opponent. But they're going to give up 1 shield here, as you're going to be able to go into your Walrein. You're going to let the first move go through here. Do they bait? They do not bait. The Earthquake is coming through here, and right now you can still go for the Icicle Spear, and this should be pretty okay-ish for you. Let's take a look at this one. Icicle Spear gonna get shielded up. You are now 2 shields up, and you're going to use your final, your first shield here onto an Hydro Cannon. But you can use it again here onto another Hydro Cannon if you want to. But you're going to let this move go through because you can still survive it, and we see now the knockout against the Swampert. Let's take a look what it's going to be in the back here. You have a shield advantage. It's going to be a Gengar, and Gengar with also the fast move Hex is not really ideal, I guess, but you're going to now be able to go for 1 Earthquake and knock them out. Don't know why they run Hex. Maybe they forgot to change the fast move. That could be the case. Actually, Gengar is something that I kind of want to try out as well, just because it's a fun Pokemon. It's not really the best Pokemon ever. But Shadow Claw is, of course, the better fast move for this one. Here we're going to see a Giratina coming in. You're going to be able to go ahead and go into your Walrein, as this is going to do some pretty decent damage against the opponent with the Icicle Spear. You're going to always win this matchup here. There's nothing the opponent can do here about this one. You're always going to be able to win this one. Even if they get the boost here, there's nothing they can do. But like this, it's going to be even easier for you, as they can go ahead and go for the Icicle Spear spam. They're going to use a shield. You can use a shield here if you want to, but you even got to let this move go through, because you can force another shield from the opponent, I guess, but nope. The opponent going to be able to now go ahead and get the knockout against you. You most likely should have used the shield there instead, but you're going to still be able to get a ton of energy here. And that's going to be very beneficial, as the opponent has nothing to hit your Galarian Stunfisk with. You're going to be able to get up to 100 energy. The Earthquake is going to knock out the opponent's Empoleon, and in comes the Togekiss, which you're going to be able to easily destroy here with your Galarian Stunfisk. Galarian Stunfisk is such an underrated Pokemon for this meta anyway. Like for Great League you see it all the time, but for Ultra League you rarely see it, and it's still such a strong Pokemon here. Move timing not really ideal here. I thought you maybe want to go for the CMP type, but this didn't really work out too much. The opponent got an extra free fast move in, but the Icy Wind is coming through only here, which is not going to do too much damage against you, as you can go ahead and go for another liquidation. Still does the same damage like a normal one because you got the defense drop, and you're gonna get another defense drop which will allow you to farm them all the way down. As the Shadow Ball is going to get shielded, we're going to see the Venusaur coming in, which is at this point of time a little bit tricky for you because you lost basically your best answer by not swapping out immediately here. Because the opponent going to outspeed you here right now, but because you have the normal Walrein and not the Shadow variant, you can actually take one Frenzy Plant from the opponent and actually knock them out before they can even get to another one. In comes now the Charizard. This can be a little bit tricky for you because a Blast Burn going to hurt you quite a bit onto your Galarian Stunfisk as the opponent even let this move go through. We're going to see most likely the No Shield actually coming up. I will have shielded this move up. It's going to be the Blast Burn, and this is going to do a ton of damage against the opponent. They're going to swap out here. This is going to be not ideal for you. How can you still win this game? You kinda be forced to... Basically, you're kind of forced to catch a move, I feel like. But you're actually going to let this move go through. It's going to be the Dragon Claw. That's going to be so nice for you because now you should be able to swap out and maybe have a move start here. No, yeah, not have a move start yet, but you can get to the next move in time, hopefully. Do you win CMP against a Charizard is the question here right now, and you can get to the move here, which will win you the game. That's going to be amazing here as the Golisopod is coming in clutch. Honestly, Golisopod seems to be pretty underrated right now. This Pokemon is very, very strong. Didn't even think it would be that strong. Yeah, I don't really like the timing for your fast and charge moves here. You could have went for liquidation before the opponent got to a charge move first. I think that would have been a little bit better, but you're still going to be able to go ahead and go for an exit. I think you could have went for one more fast move there as well. But you're going to be able to knock out the opponent. In comes a Credilli. This Pokemon also got a buff now with the Rock Slide instead of the Stone Edge. There's the super effective Excel going to do a ton of damage, and you're going to catch a move here onto your Walrein, which is going to be the Rock Slide, which actually doesn't two-shot them, which is going to be nice for you as you're gonna get out the Swampert. This is insanely important here because you're going to see already that you now get the hardest answer away from your Galarian Stunfisk, which will be so beneficial as you don't really want to have that on that Pokemon anyway, and you're going to be able to knock them out here now with most likely one Exeter from your Golisopod and a few more fast moves, which is going to be very crucial as you now have the Credilli against the Galarian Stunfisk, which generally speaking going to be a pretty decent matchup for you as you can even get to another Exeter here, which the opponent are forced to shield up for sure. And you can go ahead and try to even get to another one. Golisopod is so strong right now, honestly, that's so wild. They're gonna get to another one and get the final shield and still survive with the Golisopod with 1 HP in the back. So even if you're gonna get low here, which you don't because the Galarian Stunfisk would be super bulky, you still have 1 HP left in the back, which can be beneficial. Another Gengar, but also an Umbreon coming in here, so you're going to be able to go into your Galarian Stunfisk, as this matchup going to be pretty decent. You could have also went ahead and tried to go for one Exeter first, which would do super effective damage against the opponent. But like this, it's going to be also okay as you can go ahead and go for the Earthquake, do a ton of damage here, and just let this move go through again. As you should be able to now go straight for the Earthquake and have a pretty decent time there in the two-shot scenario most likely, or one-shot scenario should be both fine for you. You can even go for one Rock Slide here right now and you should be okay, as the Dark Pulse is coming through here, doing some pretty decent damage, and you can go ahead and go. We're actually going to see the Gengar coming in, which you're going to be able to now retaliate with your Golisopod. The fast move is doing so much damage now with Shadow Claw. After the defense drop from your liquidation, the Shadow Punch is going to get shielded here, and in comes now the opponent again here with one. Let's take a look. One with the Umbreon here. You can let this move go through. It's not really ideal that they're through here immediately for you, but you can still overfarm by a little bit here at least. As you give the opponent another free fast move, I think, which is not really ideal, but the X's are going to knock them out, so it's going to be fine. And in comes a Walrein. This is actually something that I didn't really expect here in the back, but this is going to be fine for you, I hope, but it's going to be a little bit close, because you still have your own Walrein. You still have the Galarian Stunfisk, you're still gonna get some damage here from your own Golisopod, but this kind of getting, like, basically going to be a guessing game here, I feel like. Maybe your best bet is to just go and spam those Icicle Spears against the opponent, like, don't really care too much what the opponent does. But you're going to go straight actually for the Earthquake, which is going to be interesting. Do they let this move go through? They do let this move go through, and that's going to be game here right now. What a play, calling that the opponent most likely going to think that you're going to bait them. What a play to go straight for the Earthquake there. That is insanely strong. As you're going to see a Giratina against you, you're going to farm up some extra energy and most likely then swap out because your charge moves don't do damage. Let's see what's coming in here. We're going to see the Walrein going to take some damage from a Dragon Claw, which doesn't do that much damage against you, and you can go for the Icicle Spear in order to hopefully knock out the opponent. I think there's still survival on Icicle Spear from this range, but you're going to get them low enough that you can farm them down with whatever Pokemon you want to, which is amazing for this team. All Pokemon can kind of farm down the opponent's Giratina here at this point of time, as we see another Icicle Spear approaching the opponent's Excadrill here. That's a spicy Pokemon. You can use Excadrill like for the Galarian Stunfisk, for example. It's a little bit worse, but actually it was pretty damn decent the last time I tried this Pokemon out. It's completely underrated, to be fair. But definitely the Galarian Stunfisk is still a little bit better just because of the extra bulk. But back then they actually used Excadrill quite a bit because it's like a cheap variant of it, and I had a lot of fun with it. It's a very strong Pokemon, it's a lot of damage with the charge moves there, has great coverage, is just really strong with a strap drill run there. But here we're going to see basically the Turtles going down here, even if they have the Community Day move, which they maybe don't have, I don't know. You're going to still be able to win this game here. As the opponent tries to catch the move onto the Giratina, you can farm them all the way down. And at this point of time, the opponent should already forfeit because you know that you're going to be able to just easily win this game here. You can go ahead, go for the liquidation here, do a ton of damage, go for one more Rock Slide, and win this game pretty easily here. Or you don't even go for the Rock Slide, you can just farm them all the way down. Golisopod is going to town here. This Pokemon is just insane. You're going to see the Deoxys in the lead. This is going to be pretty okayish for you. They're going to go for the Psycho Boost, which is really good for you because Rock Slide will have done way more damage. In comes now the Registeel. You can go ahead and go into your Galarian Stunfisk, which can take one charge move from the opponent here for sure. Focus Blast does some pretty decent damage here, but not enough to really threaten you too much, as you can go ahead and go for the Earthquake here and do basically the same amount of damage, which is kind of funny to see. I feel like you're kind of forced to shield this move up here, as the opponent is going to go for another Focus Blast. You can overfarm by quite a bit and go for the Rock Slide spam. Pretty sure the opponent going to let this move go through anyway, as expected, but it was needy enough to knock out the opponent already. As you're now going to be able to go for an Earthquake, swap out into your Golisopod maybe? No, you're just gonna give them farm. Don't know if I would take this play, like I would just swap out immediately into the Golisopod here. I think this would have been the better play to go for. But we're going to see here right now the shield coming up against the opponents, a Rock Slide coming in. So they're running Rock Slide, which is the ideal moveset here. But we're going to get the Gust Load in the back, which is going to be perfect for the Walrein here. I wonder if one charge move plus the fast move damage would be enough to knock out a Gust Load here with a Walrein, but we will find out shortly anyway. As you're going to see the Icicle Spear coming through, going to do a ton of damage. I think if you're Shadow you would be able to, but like this, that's most likely a little bit too much for you, so you're forced to throw another charge move against the opponent. But you're still kind of fine here, I feel like. In comes now the Deoxys again. You will be able to go ahead and go for another Icicle Spear here, which will do enough damage to put them into extra range for sure. And we will see the knockout now from the Golisopod. Again, this team seems to work pretty well for you, and honestly I feel like this is a very strong team in general. Say Swap, of course, for this team so far going to be the Walrein, which is definitely a very strong Say Swap in the current meta. The lead is going to be able to beat those Swampards, which is really nice. And the opponent is going to be double weak against Golisopod here right now. Look at this one. We're going to have both the lead as well as the Say Swap of the Walrein being weak against Golisopod. This is kind of wild. Let's see how good this Pokemon is going to be here in this matchup. Icicle Spear coming through, going to do still some pretty decent damage. But neutral fast move plus neutral charge move going to do some decent damage against the opponent's Walrein here, as they don't really have anywhere to go. As they can go for the Icicle Spear spam, but honestly it doesn't really matter, as they can go for the Exeter spam. If Exeter ever gets boosted, it would be so nice. Like, just make it like, I don't know, Weather Ball clone or something. That would have been totally fine for us, but right now it's a really bad charge move sadly, but it would help out this Pokemon so much if it gets buffed. As for example, the matchup against Trevenant would be a little bit easy as well, but luckily the opponent goes for a charge move here, allowing you now to have a better matchup with your Walrein. But you're actually gonna go into the Stunfisk here, which is kinda interesting. Can't remember if we saw the first Pokemon, maybe that's the reason because of that. But here we're going to see now the Walrein, not the Walrein, the Trevenant going for one charge move, most likely the Shadow Ball here right now. Gonna do some pretty decent damage. Oh yeah, we saw already the Swampert, so that's a great play to keep your Swampert in the back there, still alive with the Walrein. This is going to be definitely a good game at this point of time. Great alignment there at the end game. So this was totally okay for you, as you can now go ahead and go for the Icicle Spear against the opponent. As they went for the Earthquake, of course, it was a pretty decent move by them, but you can just farm them all the way down, seemingly. As they go for another Earthquake here as well, which is kinda wild. And the Trevenant is just going down from the fast moves, which is just saving some time, so I definitely appreciate that play. Instead of going for all the big charge moves just to waste some time of the video, as well as for the opponent yourself. So, here we're going to see now the X's are coming through against the opponent's Walrein again. Another Walrein, which is going to be a very decent matchup for you, as you can still resist everything. Actually, I'm curious right now if Walrein would learn anything that isn't water or ice. I guess it could learn the return if you would just purify it. But I think other than this, like, you're always going to be able to always resist everything with the Golisopod against the Walrein. Same goes for Swampert, so that's kind of nice here. As you're going to see, the Walrein taking a shield there, but still going to lose his matchup, which is kind of wild to be fair. Like, look at this. They're now 2 shields down here. And you could use a shield if you want to, and you're going to use a shield here, which I really like, because now you can realign. But in comes anyway the Giratina, allowing you to go into your own Walrein, which will do some super effective damage against them. It's going to be so nice for you to have. We're going to see here now the Icicle Spear coming through, going to do some pretty decent damage against the opponent. As you're going to see now, you can just go ahead and let this move go through. It's going to be the Shadow Sneak, not even the Ancient Power, which I definitely like more on Giratina. I don't really like Shadow Sneak at all. Ancient Power at least gives you coverage against the Charizard, as well as other flying type Pokemon or ice type Pokemon, as well as the chance to buff yourself. So I'm not really the biggest fan of either the Shadow Force or the other Ghost type move with Shadow Sneak here. But let's take a look what's coming in here. We're going to get out a Trevenant, which is amazing for you, as you're going to now get the opponent's Walrein out, but you're going to be able to catch the move onto your Galarian Stunfisk, which just can take this charge move there as well. One more Rock Slide, it will be enough. You can even no shield here if you want to. You know that you're going to survive it anyway. It's going to be a good game here against the opponent, as there's not a lot that they can do anymore. Rock Slide is coming through, going to do enough damage to just farm them all the way down and win this game. Second to last game, I think it's going to be a Hexorus. I'm kind of curious on how this team from the opponent going to be around Hexorus. If you need a decent Hexorus team, there's already a video on my channel for Hexorus in the Open Ultra League. Check this one out as well here. As you're going to see, the Exeter doing a ton of damage against the opponent, as the Hexorus, of course, is a very squishy boy. In comes another another Exeter there that's going to get shielded. I'm curious if they're running Earthquake, that would be interesting. It's going to be Night Slash, sadly. And the opponent gets the boost. Oh no, this is going to be so tough to still win now. This is going to do a ton of damage, but they go for the Breaking Swipe here. Why do they go not for the neutral move of Night Slash? I'm not sure, but they're going to now farm you all the way down here. And this Hexorus is going to town, but of course, Hexorus is so squishy that it doesn't really matter too much. You're going to let this move go through. I like this play. This is now all down to Walrein, as the opponent has a Walrein as well. You're going to outspeed the opponent though. It's very likely that the opponent going to bait you first, because it's basically the best play for them to go for it. And you're going to call that here right now. And it's going to be the bait water call from you. Yes, you're going to get still to another charge move. It's going to be an Earthquake for sure. So shielding this move up is definitely smart. Now you can even overfarm by a little bit if you wanted to. Only overfarming by 1, which is going to be fine for you, as the opponent's Walrein going down here. Let's take a look what's coming in. And we're going to see here the opponent's Charizard in the back, which is going to be the definitely cherry on the cake there. So you're going to be able to go ahead and just go for the Icicle Spear. 2 Icicle Spears is going to be enough to knock out the opponent. They try to catch, but oh, that didn't work out here. As the charge move is coming through, it's going to be the Dragon Claw bait. But this Icicle Spear here against the opponent going to be enough to knock out the opponent with one more fast move. So in comes the final game of today's video. We're going to have a Venusaur lead here again, which is not really ideal, but we're going to now go ahead, go for the Exeter. That's going to do some pretty decent damage actually. But you're going to let this move go through, I guess. Friendly Plant going to do some pretty decent damage against you as well. You still should be able to go for an Exeter if you should, like, I think you should be able to go there. But the opponent going to intervene there, gonna go for their own charge move. Gonna go for the Frenzy Plant. You should be able to farm them down now with your Walrein in time. This was a really crucial for you, as the opponent didn't overfarm by a bit, so you were able to just go ahead and farm them all the way down before they get to their own charge move. In comes here another Charizard, which is actually very decent for you, as you're going to have a more consistent matchup here, I feel like, with the Walrein against it compared to the Galarian Stunfisk, of course, because Galarian Stunfisk, if you just get hit by a Blast Burn, you're basically dead. And here, for example, you're just going to spam them so fast. As the Blast Burn coming through from the opponent, you will be able to go ahead and go into your Galarian Stunfisk. Go straight for the charge move here. Very likely that the opponent going to use a shield here right now, and they're going to use exactly that. As you're going to see right now, we're going to get the shield from you up as well, which is going to go up against a Dragon Claw. You're kind of forced to go for another one, with the opponent going to catch a move onto the Togekiss here right now. That's going to be a good game for you. You should be able to just go ahead and farm up to 2 Rock Slides here, which is really important for you as well. as the opponent might be actually able to go for another charge move here as well, but you're going to just farm them all the way. But they don't even throw, which is so nice for you, as you can go ahead and go for another rock slide. It seals the deal, as you can now have a CMP tile, shield once, win the game. That's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed this one, please leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I see you in the next one. You're going to see 2 videos on the screen right now as well. Check them out if you haven't already, and bye!